亚洲产业文化资产平台，也就是我们说的 Anih， 是一个亚太地区的跨国产业文化资产平台。这个平台呢，是以多边的交流、还有资讯共享、还有跨域协作作为精神跟目标。我们希望来推动文化资产区域性和主题性的国际交流合作。长期以来呢，Anih我们盘点了亚洲产业文化资产的经典案例，还有名录，也梳理了亚洲产业文化资产的体系还有脉络。而这些学术资讯都可以在 Anih 网站上看到。此外，还有这个半年期的这个期刊，提供专业的知识分享。每年度的这些论坛，我们也邀集了专家学者，还有青年人齐聚一堂，大家共同来进行传承还有交流的活动，以及各式各样的讲座推广的这些活动，也都在这里发生。平时大家也可以关注 Anih 的一些 Facebook， 还有 IG， 还有 Twitter， 我们可以了解到全球产业文化资产的最新趋势还有讯息。大家都了解到，现在是一个数位的时代。每一个人呢都可以透过知识型的这个影片来做线上还有线下的自我学习，也因此呢 ，Anih 的线上学习专区，我们希望用各种的影片，以有趣而且容易了解的方式拍出亚洲各国不同文化资产领域的这些佼佼者，还有研究学者他们多年的经验和成果，借由这些无远弗届的网络，把这些知识传播给更多的人。让大家更容易参与，而且乐于学习，让文化资产走进更多人的这个日常生活。我觉得这是一件非常美好的事情。Anih 这一个系列的线上学习的影片呢，我们将介绍各式各样的产业文化资产，带领大家发掘我们身边的文化资产记忆，也带领大家来发现产业文化资产的这些历史，还有一些认同感，还有转型以及永续发展的世界趋势。我们会发觉，其实他们离我们并不遥远，他们就蕴藏在我们的工作、我们的经济发展和社会脉动当中。而文化资产的价值，还有文化资产的思维，其实就蕴藏在我们的生活之中。也因此，希望大家能在欣赏这些影片之后，能够有满满的收获，同时更关心我们生活周遭的文化资产。谢谢大家。
And my name is Masaki Okada. At present, I'm working as a professor at the Kindai University, Osaka, Japan. And today's the topic of my presentation is the limestone and history of the lime and cement industrial cities in Japan. And at first, I'd like to talk about the limestone briefly. Limestone looks like this, but have you ever seen this limestone, Lee?
Yeah, very rare.
Very rare, okay.
Yeah.
I remember that in the elementary school, probably we use this limestone for the of the science subject.
Yeah.
For me, it's very long time ago, but probably for you, it's not very long time. But anyway, probably some of the audience are quite familiar with this stone as an experiment material. But as you know, the limestone is one of the major raw material for the cement or lime industry. And around the quarry of the limestone, we can see the industrial plants like this, which is forming quite characteristic landscape. And also, the limestone has very characteristic natural stone. It is very easy to dissolve in the rainwater. And it forms quite characteristic, unique landform, just like the karst landform like this. And so, that means that around the limestone quarry, the industrial landscape and the natural landscape coexist in the quite limited area. It is quite interesting characteristics. And also both the industrial activities brings the industrial heritage and the local landscape, and at the same time it comes with the unique folklore. So I'm quite very much interested in this field of research, and I made some quite a few research about this. And just 5 years ago, I published this book, which is titled The Lime and Cement Industrial Cities in Japan, Limestone Forms Technoscape. And today, my presentation this time is from this book basically, but not from all of them, just the parts. And fortunately, this book was awarded at three different academic societies in Japan recently, and I'm very much satisfied with the research result, but still, it is still going on. And in this book, I made the bibliographic survey in the 31 lime and cement industrial cities in Japan. Actually, there are quite a few limestone quarries all around Japan. And it's quite interesting that Japan is quite poor country in terms of the underground resource, but limestone is only one underground resource which is self-sufficient in Japan. So it's quite typical, very typical underground resource which we can get in the Japan island. Okay, so let's see the industrial heritage at first. There are quite a few, and most of them are still working. So they are operational. It includes the operational industrial heritage. Actually, this one is already abolished. It is Onoda Cement Bottle Kiln. It's quite traditional modern bottle kiln. And now it is designated as a national important cultural property. And it was constructed in 1883, one of the oldest bottle kiln. And this one is the Tohoku crush work. The idea is just to crush the raw limestone to make the powder of the limestone. And the limestone powder is very useful as a fertilizer in the agricultural fertilizer, because it is calcium carbonate. It includes. Then it is very good for the cultivation. And this one is a statue of the founder. His name is Asano Soichiro. He's one of the greatest entrepreneurs of Japan in 18th to 19th century. And it is inside of the factory site. And actually this company, it used to be a Asano Cement company, Asano Cement Corporation, but now it is merged with some different cement companies. But they still keep this statue of the Asano Soichiro. Probably as a company man of the old Asano Cement Corporation, probably they still possess the pride to be a company man of this factory. And also this one is another quite interesting industrial heritage. It is still operational. It is the Chichibu Cement Work number 2, which was constructed in 1956 in Chichibu City. And this one is quite unique because originally this factory was aesthetically designed by the architect, Mr. Yoshiro Taniguchi. And like you can see the two chimneys get together, or also the spiral ladder is quite interesting one. And also the concrete shell cantilever at the office is quite unique, I think. And actually, the Professor Yoshiro Taniguchi, he was also the professor at the Tokyo Institute of Technology, and he tried to make the bright and beautiful factory in 1950s, and he tried to create the cement symphony. Cement symphony is a very interesting term which he created. He said that this is the symphony of the different people in the company, and also probably it must be the symphony of the company and also the local community which surround this factory. And what is very important for us too is that Professor Yoshiro Taniguchi is the first president of the Japan Industrial Archaeology Society. So he constructed many new fantastic masterpiece architectures. But at that time already, he also got interested in the industrial heritage too. Okay, so I'd like to briefly introduce you some unique folklores in the lime and cement industrial cities in Japan. The first one is the folk songs, which I discovered. It's quite interesting one. And this is the Tsukumi city in Oita Prefecture in Kyushu. And as you can see, this picture is not inside of the factory, but it is just from the public road. This one is the public road, so everyone can pass here to go to the downtown of the Tsukumi. So it is the landscape which the local people experience in daily lives. So the sense of the landscape appreciation is quite unique, a little bit different from the general people in the non-industrial cities. So what is going on? What the folk songs can be found? This is some of the folk songs which I found. This one is in Kanda town in Fukuoka Prefecture. The title is the Kanda Ballad, and it is written by the local resident. And it said that in the lyrics, it said that white coins in mountain. Actually, I just know only the lyrics, but I cannot sing now. But if you insist, I can try to sing. But anyhow, it said that white coins in mountain. White coins, of course, that means limestone, because the limestone brings a lot of wealth to the city. So they call it white coins or white diamond. Just like black diamond is the other name of the coal. So they call the white diamond and black diamond for the limestone and the coal for each. And this song is a white diamond. The stone dances with rhythm of blasting, and the roofs powdered their faces lightly. And this one is my favorite one in Ogaki City in Gifu Prefecture. It says that dance and sing till the mountain roars, and when you hear the blast, let's dance again. So this sounds a little bit funny, but it is quite straight feeling to the industrial landscape of the local people. So it's quite unique, very unique, I think. Okay, next one is the local cuisine. There are quite a few interesting local cuisines in the lime and cement industrial cities. And at first, the limestone is very appropriate for the cultivation of the buckwheat because it has calcium inside and it is alkali. So the buckwheat can be a soba noodle, as you know. And most of the lime and cement industrial cities is very well-known city for the excellent soba noodle, which you should try by all means. There are many excellent soba noodle restaurants around the lime and cement industrial cities. And also the water. In terms of the water comes through the strata of the limestone. Then it includes a lot of minerals such as the limestone, and it becomes excellent mineral water. So the excellent mineral water is available in most of the lime and cement industrial cities. Just like I think this must be common in not just in Japan, but must be common in anywhere all around the world. I think also in Taiwan too. Just like in Britain, just like Buxton in Peak District. Buxton City is very well known as the nice pure mineral water, and the Peak District also there are quite a few strata of the limestone so the system is quite same as the cases in Japan too. And also there are quite interesting local cuisine. These are sweets. Two are a kind of wafer cake filled with the red bean jam inside, which is called monaka. It's quite well-known typical Japanese sweets. But as you can see here, it has a form of the cement barrel or cement sack, which is called the semendaru or cement bukuro. That means the cement barrel and cement sack. And it is not for the tourists, but they spontaneously created local sweets, and it has quite a long history. This one has been sold since 1925, and this one is since 1980s. And this is the sweet jelly, which is called white diamond and black diamond in Tagawa City, in Fukuoka Prefecture. Actually, Tagawa City has both the limestone quarry, and they used to have the quite good coal quarry. They had both. And in 1950s, they made this sweet jelly, which is called white diamond. It is the reflection of the limestone. And this one is also quite interesting one. It's a lime-heated steamed menu. Probably we can do this anywhere in the world if we have the limestone. Okay, this is a quite typical Japanese traditional menu, but it needs to be warmed before eating. And they use the lime. Actually, lime is made by burning the limestone, raw limestone. Then we can get the lime. Then if we pour the water to the lime, then the heat comes out like this. So then we can warm our menu on this. They don't use the fire, but they don't use the gas, but they use just the local lime to warm the menu. So it is quite an interesting way of making use of the local underground resource, I think. Quite unique. Okay, and next one is the local belief, the industrial and lime and cement industrial cities. But at first, I'd like to focus on the Japan's national anthem, which is called the Kimigayo. It is very, very old song, and the content of the lyrics is quite mysterious. Some parts are very difficult to understand, especially this part. Okay, I will read this. It's Sazare Ishi. Actually, Sazare Ishi means the small pebble, and now small pebbles now, and by age united, to great rocks shall grow. This really is talking about the long period, extremely long period. And in this period, the small pebbles can grow gradually and become bigger and bigger in the long time. Then, in the end, it becomes great rock. But it seems a little bit quite strange because small pebble can never grow like this. So far, many scholars, Japanese scholars or probably international scholars, try to find what the true character of the Sazareishi is. There are quite a few theories, and one of the influential theory is that it is a small limestone pebble. Scientifically, it is possible because the limestone it's very easy to dissolve in the water, and sometimes it becomes like a glue or the paste. Then some small stone from the different area comes together sometimes. Then they come together and they become solid. Then it can form the great rock. So scientifically, it is possible. But anyhow, there are many mysteries about this lyrics. But at least we can understand that the limestone is quite deeply penetrated to the Japanese culture in some way. Okay, and this Satareishi is quite sacred one because it appears in the national anthem, and in the major shrines all around Japan, it is displayed, such as the Ise Shrine. Ise Shrine is kind of the headquarters of all the shrines, and also Izumo Taisha in Shimane Prefecture. It is also quite well-known one, and or some others in Tokyo or Fukui or the Mie or Kyoto or many others. So it is a kind of the dome of the worship we can find. And this is the quite sacred limestone cave and stalagmite. And the limestone cave has quite majestic, mystic atmosphere, as you can find here. And this mystical space becomes somewhere quite divine meaning. It's a kind of the animism, which is quite typical in the Japanese culture. Probably in Taiwan too, I'm very much curious about the Taiwanese attitude to the natural environment. But anyway, we can find a shrine here. So this is the place for the worship, to pray for the happiness or the pray for the long life, the longevity, or pray for the safety. So it is quite sacred. It offers a quite sacred place. And also the natural pure water is also quite key element for the local life. Before the modernization of the water supply system. Before that, it is not very easy to get safe drinking water. So the natural spring is very precious place for the local people to get the safe water. And it also became very sacred place. And so they attached the shrines like this. So the natural spring itself became the place for the worship. And also this city, Hitachi City, is also the cement industrial city. And sometimes the cement company built the place for the worship like this. This is the example of in Okinawa Prefecture. It's a shrines and the places for the worship constructed by the industrial firm for the workers and also for the people in the local community.
Okay. Thanks for the Professor Okada's presentation. It gives us a brand new idea and different approach to how we appreciate industrial heritage more naturally in a natural way. And I think this is a part of is a question raised during the professor's presentation, how Taiwan's currently approach to negotiate or to collaborate between culture and natural heritage. But I think from my experience, according to my understanding, this is an emerging issue in Taiwan now. Very recently, we just held a conference he is cooperate with museum people and the heritage sector, and including the culture and the nature heritage expert. Because if we want to make a heritage sustainability, it's not only cultural way, but also natural way. Or more pioneers case is mainly from forestry industry, including the logging or timber industry and the nature. But from the mining, we have a very first cement industry bring from Japan, the Japanese cement company, Asano Cement Company. And I want to release this question as I and Professor Okada, we has been visits there. And I also encourage the audience, you are watching this video, to clip another video made by the Professor Wang Yufeng, associate professor from the Kaohsiung University of Science and Technology. He gives a whole picture in brief regarding the development and the background and the connection between Japan and Taiwan's cement industry. And I think as a hoster and also the tour guide for the next time Professor Okada's visits, I want to seek Professor your comment or advice, how you see the future, or see according to your experience, you visit the cement site in Kaohsiung, I think, and how is it changed a lot now, and how is comparison from the Taiwan's development and the latest Japanese attitude, and is any proposal or idea you think in the near future, the Japan and Taiwan, we can have more effort in promoting or to more creative way in introducing the cement industrial heritage.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, I really admire the Taiwanese project which is dealing with the cement, the history of the cement industry in Kaohsiung, to make the park, to construct the park and respect the past, respect the history. I think it's quite advanced way of developing the industrial site. How I think that it is quite worldwidely, it's very much advanced, our forerunning project in Kaohsiung, I think. And also, when I visit there with you and with two more officers of the cement company, I remember, and they showed us quite interesting the butter kilns, the brick-made butter kiln is, and it is very much preserved, not intently preserved, but it's a kind of miracle that they could exist, right? Yes, they haven't been demolished, but they were there and on the same site, and it is quite precious one which we Japanese kept demolishing. That the butter kiln which I showed you just now in Onoda City in Yamaguchi Prefecture is almost only one intact butter kiln, traditional butter kiln. But we discovered that it is something precious in the history of the cement industry, then we preserved it. But for you, in Kaohsiung, it still existed there, and it is kind of miracle, but I really admire you to preserve it intently now and make the kind of the industrial heritage park, probably including the cement silos too.
Yeah, I saw just sharing some statue photo regarding the founder of Asano. So is any connection you can mention between the Asano company and Taiwan cement heritage?
So now I'm showing the slides of the three statues of the Mr. Asano Soichiro. Asano Soichiro is the founder of the Asano cement industry, and also he was an entrepreneur and he developed many things, like he constructed the reclaimed industrial area in between Tokyo and Yokohama, which is called the Keihin Industrial District. And also he owned his high school in the industrial area in Yokohama. So he tried to construct quite attractive city with the industrial area. And so his job is quite very unique and very highly evaluated now. And also he's, as you can see here, on the right side, it is the place where the Japanese modern cement industry started in Tokyo, and now the factory is gone, but just a little bit we can see the part of the concrete works, but it's not a cement producing factory anymore. But now they set the statue of him here because it is kind of the quite iconic person who started the modern cement production in Japan. And the right one I showed you just now, it is in the factory of the old Asano cement factory in Hokkaido. And the left one is, I think this statue has the most handsome face of the Asano among the statue of the Asano Soichiro, and it is in the high school. He's also the founder of this high school. So, and also there's many other statues all around Japan which has connection with the Asano Soichiro, and that forms some kind of the context, which I can say Asano context of the different areas. And in Kaohsiung, also it used to be a Asano cement factory site.
Yeah, I'm not sure is any record mentioned that Mr. Asano has been to Kaohsiung before?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because according to the Professor Wang Yufeng's video, Mr. Asano lead the program to build the Hamasen, the new district of Kaohsiung.
Yes.
He have covered the sea and build a new land for Kaohsiung city. Yeah, so he is the leading person of this project. So I'm just thinking, according to you said, Asano context, a little like the root of Mr. Asano. So maybe it's kind of people can, if they are very fascinating on the cement heritage, can follow the step or to this context.
Oh, Hamasen's story is very interesting. Yes, actually, Mr. Asano was also very good at reclamation. You said they cover the soil to the ocean, then make the land. That means reclamation, might be. And he owned several companies of the reclamation in around Japan. Also in that Keihin Industrial District between Tokyo and Yokohama. It is one of the greatest companies he owned. Not just cement, but also the reclamation company. And also in Amagasaki near Osaka, also he owned the quite interesting company of the reclamation too. Yes, so but also in Kaohsiung too, it's interesting. Not just cement, but also the industrial area itself.
Yeah, so thanks Professor Okada. And today's the Professor Okada, he gives us a kind of index. We understanding or valuing the industrial heritage is not only on the single factory or a single place. We are looking for the context, the narrative, the story, and it will be fantastic to bring the humanity and linking to the nature, because I think this in general, all industrial heritage, I think nearly all industrial heritage actually come from nature. Mining industry is from the underground, the water industry, the hydrate industry, or even brick, even timber, is all nature legacy to the human being. Then because this nature healthy and the intelligence of human, then we have the industrial heritage to appreciate. So I think Professor today, it bring us to a more depths of the industrial heritage. We are not looking the surface, but also look inside the heritage, the raw material, the story, the people, and even some engineering technique or outbreak project. It's all remarks the importance of a specific industrial heritage. For today's example is the cement industry. And thank you for Professor's today's presentation.